Realty. Okay. Hello, hello. We're hanging up right now. We have a little bit of a glitch. Kat, you there?
I lost you.
Ah,
Yeah. Technology.
Yeah, the wonderful interweb.
Sorry.
No worries. I was just welcoming you. You brought your team on a little over maybe 6 months ago. And so how's your first 6 months been?
It's been a whirlwind. It's been fun. We love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's quite the experience.
It's a fun company. So we're broadcasting, and there'll be agents out there, brokers, maybe who are on board with eXp, or maybe they're kicking the tires. But we're gonna, as I mentioned, talk a little bit about Kat and where she started in real estate, and then transition into, why you came on board with eXp.
Sure.
Does that sound like a good pace?
Sounds awesome.
So let me ask you, I know that we've had conversations. You were in the health and fitness industry prior and built an empire there. Tell me exactly what you did there.
So I was in the health and fitness industry pretty much most of my career, 25 years, selling fitness equipment. And I started my own company and grew that to a $50 million business. Started out of my garage, built it to like 240 employees. And then with the economic downturn, I saw the freight train coming and I needed to do something different. Because that's disposable income and not everybody buys fitness equipment. So it was a very small percentage of the market that we were capturing, and we did well during the heyday, but I saw in 2008, I saw the decline and needed to change careers.
So have you always been entrepreneurial? Because not a lot of people just jump into their garage and start a business.
I think I tested in college. I tested my sales ability and did really well at sales in the fitness center, and just kind of followed that path to fitness equipment, which was kind of new at the time, and then progressed from there and just loved it.
So you were there during the boom of the fitness craze.
The boom of the fitness craze, the boom of the home building craze, the crash and burn of it.
And so did you have multiple storefronts at that time, or?
Yeah, at that time we had grown it to encompass 5 states, 19 stores, pretty much all the way, the mid-Atlantic, from Northern Virginia up into Northern New Jersey.
Wow. So, I've been in real estate 20 years, and I know that there's a lot of realtors out there, but not all of them have the type of team that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And so did a lot of that stuff, in your previous business endeavor kind of translate into your mindset into real estate?
I think so. I mean, I brought over a lot of transferable skills. I didn't have any specific real estate skills, but I always had a passion for real estate. So I went and got my license, and I said, let me study this market and see what I can do. And it seemed like it was a low barrier to entry, and you could get into it quite easily. And I really found that I loved it, and I could use everything that I learned from my fitness business and bring it over.
Oh, that's funny. You and I have a lot of similarities in the sense that I was working in the MBA for 5 years, and there was a fork in the road, much like yours.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I chose to get into real estate, because I thought I don't want to have a boss again for the rest of my life.
Yeah, little did I know that I was going to end up building a team. I didn't go in with the intention of it, but that's kind of where it ended up.
So when you started your real estate career, maybe you can tell me about, those first couple of years, and then what was it that made you say, I'm going to now
Mhm.
translate into building a team?
Sure. I started with a small company just to learn the ropes and get my feet wet and kind of figure out what I was doing. And once I felt like I was fairly successful as a single agent, doing 80 transactions myself and transaction management and all that stuff that goes with it, I realized quickly that I had no life. I said, okay, well, I need some leverage. And I sought out a company called Keller Williams that would teach you the Red Book and how to build a team, and that's where I ended up. For the past 6 years, I was at Keller Williams.
Now, when you started out, did you just have a few agents, then you just kept building on that? Because you currently have 10, 12 agents on your team right now.
Yeah, so I really started out with maybe one or two agents just to hand off some buyers to and grow the business, and then from there they started telling other agents, and I'm always searching for talent. So I think if I had just attracted any agent, I would have a much bigger team. But I'm very selective. So as I ran across somebody that I was co-broking with and I really liked the way that they conducted business, I would ask them, if they were happy, and if they weren't, I would introduce them to our team, and we slowly grew the team. It's not anything that is an overnight sensation.
So let me ask you this. When you're looking for talent, what is it that you're looking for? What are some of the traits that pop out at you when you're eyeing that talent?
Well, I'm looking for somebody who is an entrepreneurial spirit that doesn't necessarily need hand holding, because I did want that leverage. There's a lot of no offense to new agents, but I probably would shy away from brand new agents just because they do require a lot of hand holding. But any agent in that 3 to 5 million that was maybe not getting successfully coached or mentored, or didn't know how to navigate the business world, I was interested in, and always looking for, ethics first. And, any agent that I would do a transaction with that was difficult and they handled it like a champ, I'd be like, okay, that's somebody that I'd like to have on my team.
Yeah, it's funny how you don't necessarily have to go and get a degree for real estate,
Hmm.
but there are some personalities, some individuals that just excel, and there's usually self-starters, self-motivated, don't need a lot of hand-holding, that really are the ones that take off.
Yeah, and we have a great team. Everybody gets along nicely. Everybody brings a different talent to the table. So always looking for people that will complement the team as well.
Now, getting back to your team, you're reading your bio is like a who's who. You're currently the number one EXP agent in Delaware. You've
Correct.
been nominated 5 times by Real Trends as one of America's best real estate agents. I
Mhm.
mean, you're setting the bar pretty high. What is it about you that says, I want to be number one and continue with that?
Well, I don't set out to be number one. I just conduct my business and it happens. And that's how it happened in the real estate industry as well. So you treat people right, you do business ethically, and you attract certain people that you surround yourself with. And they're motivated to want to exceed their expectations. And I always give them a bar to live up to. So I do have high expectations of myself, and they see that. And I think one of the things that I learned through the fitness business is I do lead by example because I am in the trenches. And that's
Mm.
what motivates the team, because they see me in the trenches doing what they do day in and day out. But I'm also coaching them on, real live examples that I've experienced. So it's kind of an attractive environment because the owner is not, sitting behind a desk barking orders. The owner's in there with the sleeves rolled up and getting in the grind with them.
I think that's the most powerful leader is somebody who starts there and knows every aspect of that process. I know that a number of our management people at eXp went to go tour Zappos, and
Mhm.
I think one of their philosophies is everybody that they hire starts at the call center and
Mhm.
works their way up to no matter what position they're at, so they learn the entire process.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very helpful because you can relate, and it worked well for me, and I duplicated that here. The other thing I took with me that I did in the fitness business into real estate is kind of the philosophy to allow the sales people to do what they do best and surround them with everything else. So give them the tools, the support, the mentor, the coaching to succeed. And it works. It's a good formula.
Now, somebody who's doing, 200 plus units a year, 50, 60 million in production, you're working at a high level. How important are tools and systems for you and your team?
Well, I think they're everything because you can't grow to that magnitude without them. So you need to build a strong foundation of which to be able to do that type of volume.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about that. And we've spent countless hours putting those in place, and we're still improving them every day. We're not perfect by any means.
Do you have a set philosophy or anything that you follow for your team, or
As far as what aspect?
whether it's your mantra or motto or, uh, the thing that you want to be known as for your team office?
Not necessarily, other than treat people the way you'd want to be treated and be genuine. I
Mm-hmm.
think that philosophy works really well. One of the core values for us is care. It's something that is such a small word, but such a powerful word. And I think sometimes that gets lost. But when you show that you care, people really get it and they understand and they relate better.
Well, one of my first jobs after playing football was with a guy, Tom, and I won't say his last name, but he gave me a great start on, and he said, people don't want to work with you until they know that you care.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously the same way in real estate. They want to know that you care first and foremost, not that you're just there for the commission check.
Oh, sure.
So tell me a little bit about your career at KW, which we love KW. They're a fantastic company. They are the ones that really kind of set the bar
Mm-hmm.
for, every brokerage over the last 20 years. Um, and you became, a fantastic leader for them. What
Sure.
was it that they taught you to help improve your team?
I mean, I learned a lot at KW, and in our particular market center, the leadership was a high turnover leadership. So, uh, being that I had my own business, it didn't really affect me, but it affected some of the other folks in the market. So, we kind of became our own little entity in within KW. So we took the good things and we left the bad things there. So what I mean by that is if there was any turbulence going on, it didn't affect my team because we were well insulated and we did our own thing. But I took great courses there. I had some good mentors there. Love Gary Keller. Love his Red Book. Went to 5 family reunions. So I was entrenched, and it was good for me for 6 years. No complaints.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know that I was never there. I was at Remax for many years, but I know that anybody who spent time there just has the utmost respect for that brokerage and what they did to
Absolutely.
help them, launch their careers. Um,
Absolutely.
Pivoting now, you were there for a period of time, and then all of a sudden, this orange and blue company came around, cloud based. And if you were anything like me, you were, I'm not going anywhere. I love the
Mhm.
coffee and I love my brokerage. But what was it about EXP that really kind of made you think, I better take a look at this?
Well, I've always been one to search out new innovation And I've always been a leader in that respect. Like, I'm not fearful to be the trailblazer in our market. So 4 people in 2 weeks in August told me about this company, eXp, including my coach, and said, hey, you should check it out. So I did, and I did my research and got connected with you and started asking 1,000 questions. Exhausted you, but I needed to know. I needed all the information because I was responsible for everyone on my team, and I wanted to be able to present it to my leadership team properly so that we can make a good, educated decision. So that's what we did, and I'd say, 2 to 3 months later, probably 2 months later, we decided to make a move.
And it's scary.
Yeah.
I know for myself, I came on 7 years ago. And so we were only in a handful of states, maybe had 300 agents. Fast forward to today, I think they just announced that we have 10,000 agents in 48
Yeah.
states.
Yeah. It's amazing.
According to Real Trends, we grew over 200%, which is the fastest growing brokerage ever. But there's a reason for it. And I'd be curious to find out what were some of the reasons for you, not only personally in your team, but also for your agents, on why you thought this is really my next move.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but the big picture reason, I think, for me is to be part of something bigger and more in line with my purpose, which is changing people's lives.
Oh,
So, that's the big why for me. And that gave me the ability and the platform in which to do that at a faster pace. Because, yes, selling real estate, you do make a difference in people's lives. And that was always a driver for me. But to actually be able to change people's lives now is really exciting. It's really exciting.
Yeah, because when you have a team, when you tell them that you're moving from a company that is the number one company in the world to this new company that's emerging, but yet hasn't quite, splashed onto the scene on a global presence, it's a little scary probably, and you're dealing with people's lives. But knowing the business model, the fact that eXp offers stock and revenue share for somebody's retirement, that must have really helped you with making that decision for your agents and looking out for them.
Well, they made the decision. We presented the information, and they were all gung ho on board. There was no hesitation. So they saw what I saw, and once I showed them how many different revenue streams there can be and some of the voids of other business models out there, they were all about it, and they've embraced it, and their businesses have flourished as a result of it. Our business is flourishing. So it was just good overall. And I think timing has something to do with that. We were getting a little bit stale, and we were ready for something new and different. And I think there's a lot of agents out there that feel the same way.
A lot of agents that we've talked to over the course of the last year, one of the objections that they have is, well, you don't have market share, or we haven't heard a whole lot about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I can expand on that and say, listen, every brokerage when they're starting out had gone through that same thing. Remax, Keller Williams, and even in the business world, has your business suffered at all coming from where you came from over to eXp?
Absolutely not. Every client comes with us. No new clients question the brand. The brand is us.
Right.
And we convey that fairly well. So it hasn't been an issue at all. I'd say that I think that's the biggest misconception of salespeople. I've been in sales all my life. And even in the fitness industry, I sold 3 different brands over the course of my career. Never once did I skip a beat because the brand is never the brand. It's you.
Yeah, I think there's an article out there that talks about, I think less than 3% of consumers choose an agent based on their brokerage. They choose it based on the agent.
Sure. And I see that, like, as far as not having the market share, when I came over to Keller Williams 6 years ago, they didn't have market share in my marketplace either. So it's no different than that. And I see that what was actually exciting to me was that we didn't have market share yet at eXp in our marketplace. So I saw that as an opportunity.
That's so funny.
Huge.
That's your entrepreneurial spirit, because some people get intimidated by that
Mhm.
and the newness of it and the lack of market share, and others go, aha, that's an opportunity.
Of course. You never want to be, everybody's doing it and then jump in the pond. It's like before everybody gets in the pond, then you reap all the rewards of that.
Well, there's a lot of rewards being handed out here lately with I think since you've come on board, we've doubled in size.
Yes.
And so, obviously you made the switch, but since you've been aboard here, what is something that has jumped out at you that you might convey to somebody who's watching this about eXp that's kind of caught you by surprise?
Something good, you mean? Like,
Yeah, we don't talk anything bad here.
What I've observed is that they're doing an amazing job keeping everything together to the point where we don't feel the growing pains ourselves. I know they have them, and they have to have them, with onboarding 100 agents a day. That's got to be very difficult. But I think the executive staff is doing an amazing job of keeping that together and growing with the growth and keeping up with it. So I've seen that. I've also seen, being out at the eXp shareholders in Vegas last week, I just, my takeaway there was a lot of the top producers and the top agent attraction folks are just ordinary people that made a decision that they're going to succeed. And it's no different than anybody. You just have to put your mind to it.
And it's just as simple as they made the decision and they came on board and they're taking advantage of the opportunity. A lot of people are, for whatever reason, are waiting and waiting and waiting. And like you said, we'll be at 30, 40,000 agents if you wait too long.
Yeah, I mean, the time is now. It's just an amazing time in real estate history to be part of this. And I'm so grateful.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things to touch upon, and I don't want to turn this into a session of just banging our drum about eXp, but we have 20 to 30 live classes every week, and some of them include people like you talking on Fridays called our iConversations, where we have top producers like you sharing your secrets, practices with the rest of us. How does that make you feel as somebody who's possibly mentoring 10,000 agents?
That's tremendous. I mean, you get to share with the world, and make a difference, and that's what it's all about. It's changing people's lives one story at a time. And I've got a success story, but there's a million other people that are also have success stories, and we all share, which is nice.
I live not too far from America Online, and so I got to see that company just skyrocket. And I always wondered, when I first moved here, what it would be like to be with a company like that. And here I am in the eye of the storm, seeing this company grow, 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 and we're attracting top talent like you and Jay Kinner, Michael Reese, and it just goes across the board. How does that make you feel? Does that confirm that, I'm in the right place?
Well, I know that I'm in the right place, and I knew that the minute I saw the opportunity, because I am such an entrepreneur and the model suits me. But I also get that it may not be for everybody either. I think it's if we didn't have the revenue share or the shares of the company, that opportunity, if it were just the real estate only, it would still be an amazing opportunity, because my experience with this brokerage from a real estate perspective is a very positive experience, and my broker's very involved, and I just think there's quality people throughout the organization that make it fun.
That's a shout out to JT. I came on board before we were actually a publicly traded company. So you're absolutely right. We didn't have stock when I came on board. It was just the rev share, and we had really great websites with, conversion.
Mm-hmm.
And then, now with the training classes, conversion, Regis offices, and the ability to have residual income by just introducing people to the company is mind blowing.
It's really awesome. You had the vision years ago, and that must have been a very difficult decision back then. But now it's just like you talk to people, know what eXp is and what's changed. That's what's changed for me from 6 months ago when I first joined. People really didn't know it, but now when I talk to people, they're like, I've heard of it.
Yeah. And I know that Stefan Swanepoel, I've got the Real Trends report here. I tell you what, I believe what this guy says more and more every day. But 6 years ago, he said, this company is a lot like Amazon. Watch them. And
Mm-hmm.
lo and behold, he was 100% right that this company is, and it's not just because we're the latest shiny thing. I think there's something that's happening in the real estate world right now where agents are tired of paying for things that they don't need and don't want. And that business model is turned up where the broker gets the lion's share of the profit and equity and the agents don't, where this turns it upside down. Would you agree?
I would. I think it's so fun to know that you own a piece of the company that you're working for and can share in the growth and the excitement instead of it just being at the top.
There are some things that came about with this company that I didn't even really see down the road. And you hit it on the head. I get to help somebody each and every day. And some of them don't even know that I'm helping them out by introducing them to the company. And then they get their first stock check, and then they get, their first revenue share. And then they go, wow, this is powerful.
They start to get it. Yeah. I had 2 people from our event yesterday that called me today to thank me because they see the opportunity and they're already talking to people and getting excited about it and getting others excited about it. And these are folks that I've been talking to for a year, even before I was with eXp.
Oh, and at yesterday's event that we did?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I'm meeting with a few of them next week because they're going to onboard and they're going to bring potentially a couple other people just to talk. So it's really exciting.
I know that we're taking it on the chin from other brokerages that are taking a shot at us because I think I don't want to say they're nervous, but we're on their radar.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that I can say is that the excitement that we have for sharing this is not because we have to, it's because we want to.
Sure. There's nothing else like it in the real estate arena right now. So why wouldn't you share it? That's
Right.
what I say to my team is like you're co-broking with agents every day. You just mention, do you know the model? I think everybody in the industry should know the model, whether it's right for them or not. They should be aware of it and what it has to offer.
Right. It's funny. I don't know if you've run into it in the short time, but there are a lot of people that say, "No, I'm not even interested." And then all of a sudden, 3, 4 months later, they hear what the actual business model is,
Mm-hmm.
and they go, "So tell me more."
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't quite been in it that long to experience that yet, but I'm sure it will start to happen.
Yeah. So, excuse me, got a little cough here. Anybody that's watching this that might be on the fence, or they say, you know what, I love where my brokerage is. I love where I'm at. What might you tell them?
I would say have an open mind. A lot of people are resistant to change, even though change is inevitable, especially in the real estate industry. I mean, There's no two transactions that are the same. So we're used to change. I think just broadening your horizons, because it's different, people might be resistant. But, even some folks that came yesterday, they're just like, I just wanted to find out what it was all about. Perfect. Glad you came. I think you should know what it's all about. And like I said, timing's everything. It was for us. We were ready when this opportunity came about. Some people may not be ready, but they might be ready down the road. But at least if they know of the opportunity, they have to keep it in the back of their mind. They might say, you know what, down the road, maybe it's a better time, whatever.
A lot of people, I loved where I was at. I was there 12 years. I loved my broker. I thought he was one of the best brokers in the state, still do. But when I found this model and I saw what they were doing, and I saw, I was trying to look 10, 15 years down the road, what I saw was my family. And that I
Right.
was putting my family ahead of my broker and what I like there. And I said to myself, I could still be friends with my broker. I could still be, if we're friends, we can be friends. But this is going to help my family out down the road.
Without a doubt. I think that's what people have to focus on, because the traditional brokerages, there's the broker is, the owner of that
They're at the
organization.
top.
Yeah, they're making it all. So this allows us the opportunity to share in that. And I think that's a very positive culture that this company has, is that everybody is willing to share and everybody wants to help. It's quite powerful.
It is amazing there's something else that I didn't learn until we're in the middle of this, is that you're absolutely right. There's no franchise walls. There's no this is our territory. It's funny when you go to a stockholders convention or the other conventions that we have. It's literally because we're all publicly, shareholders of this company. We're all pulling together. We're all wanting to help one another out.
It's like family. And you don't even know them, but they're like family.
It is an overused term, but it's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, we're coming up on the 35-minute mark, but excuse me. What are some of your favorite things about eXp and what it's doing for your team business wise?
Some of my favorite things, oh gosh, there's a lot of them. I think I touched on them already, but the positive culture, the amazing sharing of ideas. I mean, I'm on Workplace every night, just sharing ideas with folks that I don't even know, and just collaborating. The forum and the ability to do that, and pretty much can get any answer you want. I've been on other Facebook, referral networks and so forth, where you may get one or two replies, but here a lot of people participate in these groups. So you get a lot of different perspectives. So I love that sharing, because there's always a need and there's always a question and there's always a way that you can give back and you can help others. So that's one of my favorite things, I would say. The amazing systems. We recently have transitioned our platform. Formerly was Money Tree, and we transitioned over to Commissions Inc. And their team platform for lead generation is just blowing doors down anything we have ever had. So all of our agents are very happy about that because they're getting more business. So that's been very positive. And then just the training that's available, whether it be an agent attraction training or a new agent training or a sky slope training, there's training for everything. But just interacting with the brokers, we're positioned in Delaware and Pennsylvania. We have both licenses, so both brokers, Mick Marino and JT Takis, have been just stellar to deal with. So the folks behind the scenes for the transactions, the gals in the office, the onboarding staff. It's just been a very mind-blowing experience, and it continues even through the growth.
It really is. I mean, the business model, and for those that are watching that don't know anything about eXp is a publicly traded company where our agents are actually given stock for selling, introducing people to the company, and capping. You can buy stock at a 25% discount, and we do what is called revenue sharing. So if I introduce anybody to the company anywhere in the country, I actually get a percentage of their gross commission until they cap. And so those are unbelievable business models. But like you said, the training, the collaboration, the tools, you get a conversion or a Commissions Inc. site, are unparalleled. And other brokerages cannot do what we're doing. They simply can't.
Yeah, it's really been fun. Yeah.
I saw an article that was interesting because a lot of people, now that we're on the radar, they're going to, a lot of people are going to say, well, they're going to try and do what you're doing. And I saw this article that I think fits where we are in real estate time. Kodak, they actually developed the digital camera. And as it turned out, the digital camera put them out of business, but they couldn't implement it because they were so entrenched with film and their current business model. And I say the same thing for a lot of the brick and mortar brokerages. They see what we're doing, but they can't shift to do what we're doing.
It's too hard to do that when you're already entrenched in a certain business model. To change that on a dime, I think, is very difficult. I mean, I'm sure somebody may figure it out, but we're already light years ahead of that with the technology that keeps coming to this company.
Yeah.
I think, we'll stay ahead.
So closing out here, somebody who's watching this, maybe in the Delaware area, Pennsylvania, or anywhere in the country, where can they get in touch with you? How can they find out more about this company?
Just kghometeam.com. You can always reach me there. My eXp Realty
agent attraction site, which is katgeralis.exprealty.careers.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be having, this is more of a get to know you and your transition, but we will also have a webinar, perhaps talking more in detail about the company's proposition and their business model in an eXp Explained, as you often have lunches at your office there.
Yeah, once a month we try to host one of those just to educate the community about it, and they've gone very well.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm so glad that I met you and that we're on this journey together. And you're part of my team. I'm part of your team, and I'm going to do everything I can to help you out. So, do you have any last parting shots before we sign off here?
No, just it's an amazing opportunity. Everybody should know about it, at least so you can evaluate it to see if it's right for you. And it's fun. And you're surrounded by people that care. And, I'm grateful for meeting you, David. And you've been nothing but stellar as far as our support and our transition. Was no easy task.
Oh, shucks.
We brought over 45 listings, and we had 12 agents to transition. So it was quite challenging, but we did it. So if anybody's thinking about a single agent coming over, it's piece of cake, and we can help with that transition too. There's lots of people onboarding that can help now.
And you would be a great resource for somebody who has a small boutique brokerage or has a large team to say, Kat, how did you transition over?
Absolutely. And I'd be happy to help anybody. Sure.
Yeah. Well, great.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Hey, this was fun. And we'll do this again, but make sure that you go to, if you're going to want to find out more information about eXp, go to katgeralis.exprealty.careers. It's probably in the section below wherever this is posted, or you can go to the Kat Home Team, kathometeam.com.
The kghometeam.com.
Right. And you can find her name and email in there. Hey, Kat, thank you so much.
Thank you, David. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
All right.
Peace out. EXP proud.